Dear students, our lesson today about problem solving, pages number 743 and 744. Let's start with this video.
The essential understanding for this lesson is good math thinkers are careful about what they write and say, so their ideas about math are clear. Previously, students chose appropriate measurement tools and measured the lengths of objects using customary and metric units. In this lesson, students consider how measurements are made and explain whether or not the work results in precise measurements. This problem is key because students must think clearly and work carefully as they determine which of two measurements of a curved object is more precise. One way that they can do this is to measure the snake themselves, using the most precise method they know. Listen and look for students who place a ruler below the snake and say that Zeke's measurement is more precise, because the length from the snake's tail to its head is about 4 inches. To encourage a more precise measurement, ask guiding questions such as, is the snake curved or straight? Does the ruler measure the snake's curves? What tools could you use to measure a curved object's length more precisely? Listen and look for other students who measure with more precision by placing a string along the length of the snake, cutting the string where it reaches the end of the snake, and then measuring the length of the straightened string. Encourage these students to measure the length twice to make sure the measurement is accurate. Look for students to explain that J measured more precisely because, when they use string to take into account the snake's curves, the length is 5 inches. These students demonstrate that they understand how to measure length with precision and clearly explain why a measurement is precise. Attending to precision when measuring is a valuable skill for students to develop.
So now with our first question, Tracy measures the length of her pencil and she uses a centimeter ruler. Tracy writes 17. She writes just 17 for the length. Is her answer precise? And I want to explain. So that's her pencil, and maybe it's 17, but 17 what? She didn't write any unit of length here. Is that 17 centimeter or 17 inches or 17 meter? So she is not precise. She should write the unit of length she used here. Is that 17 centimeter or what? She uses a centimeter ruler, so she should write 17 centimeter. So our answer here is no. Tracy uses a centimeter ruler to measure, but she only writes 17 for the length. 17 could be inches or feet or meter or anything. She should write 17 centimeter. Another question here. Steve uses centimeter cubes. That's cubes. And if you count this cube, you will find them. They are 9 cubes. So he says that the pencil is 9 centimeter long. Is his work precise? Yes or no? And explain. We have here 9 cubes. Is that pencil equal 9 centimeter? No. Why? Because we have here a distance between each cube and another one. We have here a distance. He didn't measure it. Is that right? So this pencil is more than 9 centimeter long. So your answer here would be no. His work is not precise. He leaves gaps between cubes. He leaves here gaps between cubes, like a distance. So the pencil is longer than, he says, it's longer than 9 centimeter. Okay, with another video here.
Anna uses string to help measure the worm. Is her work precise? Why or why not?
Let's find out about measuring precisely.
Why is Anna using string to measure the worm? The worm is not a straight line, and so the string can be used to bend along the length. What can you do to measure precisely? You can choose units and tools that will help you measure precisely. You can estimate first, choose a tool, start at 0, measure twice, write the unit. What tools can you use to measure precisely? When you write your measurements, what must you include? You can use an inch ruler, centimeter ruler, yardstick, meter stick, measuring tape, or string. You must always include the units when you write your measurements. Anna lines up the string along a ruler to measure the length. Why has Anna lined the string up along the ruler starting at 0? She knows the string is the same length as the worm. What will lining up the string tell her? The length of the worm in inches. Anna measures the worm again to check her work. Then she writes the length. How long is the worm? How do you know?
Select your answer.
The worm is about 3 inches long. It is closest to the 3-inch mark on the ruler. Now you know how to use precision to measure and write units.
Okay, with another question here. Number 4. Use a centimeter ruler to measure the pencil yourself. How long is the pencil? And I'm going to explain what you did to make sure your work is precise. So here, your pencil is about 11 centimeters long. How can you measure your pencil with a centimeter ruler? You will line up the left edge of the pencil with a 0 point, and you will measure it 2 times or 3 times to be precise. To be sure your answer is correct. So our answer here, your pencil is 11 centimeters long, and you will line up the left edge of the pencil with the 0, and you will measure it twice or 3 times or 4 times to be what? To be precise. With another question. Katie lost a shoestring. The shoestring has the same length as the shoestring at the right. What is the length of the shoestring Katie lost? We have here shoestring, and she lost one like this one. And our question here, we want to estimate the length of this shoestring, and we want to explain how your estimate help you measure. Okay. And another question, which tool you will use here to measure this shoestring? And the third question here, measure the shoestring and tell why your work is precise. Let's find our answer. First, you can use your thumb. And we said before, your thumb equal 1 inch. So it's about 8 inches long. You can measure it. And you can write here, you used your thumb. And here, your actual measurement should be close to your estimate, is it right? Another question here, what tools can you use to measure the shoestring? And explain why you choose this tool. You can write here, I can use a string to lay over. You can choose string to lay over the shoestring. Why? Because it's a curve, not straight line. You can't use ruler right now because it's a curve. That's right. So you can use now a string to lay over the shoestring. Then you can use a ruler to measure the length of the string, like that video you see it before. Number 7, measure the shoestring and tell why your work is precise. We said it's about 11 inches. About 11 inches. And I estimate first. And to be sure your answer is correct, you will measure it again. So you will measure it twice. And here he said I use the right tools and I used smaller units to measure. Thank you, dear students. Don't forget our homework, pages number 745 and 746. See you tomorrow.